Let me know to the marriage of true minds. Admit impediments. Ngiyadlala, guys. I know. I just had to. You know why? Because today I'm hosting. I'm a poet. Yabon, abalobi, the authors. Yazini. This is beyond blessing. This is beyond being honored, you guys. Oh my word! There's fire in the studio. Okay, one is very vocal. We know her. She says it as it is. She does not mince her words. Okay? It's up to you how you take it. The other one is a good friend of hers, and they met at Rhodes doing masters.
Not even.
Not
actually.
even.
We're childhood friends.
Aibo.
We both did our masters.
Baphuma kude
at Rhodes.
labantu
Yeah.
awugoda Ntsiki Mazwai no Kabelo Mofokeng. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
How was my attempt though?
That was brilliant.
You know,
actually.
did
I
you
love
see
that.
this?
Shakespeare.
Yes, you know,
Yes,
the sonnet 116, honey.
Yes,
You know, admit the impediments. Love is not love.
That alteration fine.
I'll say.
Angeke siyiqede, guys. So, guys, here you are. Okay, you childhood friends.
Yes.
That is so sweet. Nasenifakana ngamakhanda ukuthi mngani, we're going to go to Rhodes. We're going to study masters.
We're going to be
creative
smart.
writing. Aibo, how did
know-
it all start, Nje? Take me through your journey.
So no, our poetry brings us together. I think when we were around 19, that's when we met. We're both from Epimville. So there was an arts and cultural movement thing that happened.
An art rising.
Yes, there was an art ride. So this is around, is this 2000 and? Oh no, it's
It
1999.
could have been in the 90s.
Oh my God, we're so old.
Because there's almost like a period like where there's a lot of kwaito,
Yeah.
and then people are seeking alternative voices outside of the space of kwaito.
Okay.
You know, so kwaito would be the musical experience,
Yeah.
but then there's also like poetry,
Yes.
painting,
Yeah.
there's fashion,
Exactly.
abomobu, you know,
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
abopaniki.
And then when did now the writing journey begin and what inspired it?
So, as I said, we meet through art. So he's always been a writer.
Yeah.
So have I always been a poet. So obviously we have in common.
Yes.
So then there's a small artistic Pimville
Yeah.
group or that kind of were doing things.
clique of some sort.
Yes. And
Yeah.
we used to be, what was it in Durban? What was it called?
It was Tinyeleti. Tinyeleti is a Setsonga word for the stars.
Stars.
Yes. Tinyeleti Arts Foundation.
Okay.
And that was by, now it's UJ.
It's
In
UJ.
Pimville, that's the best.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So we used to chill there and have poetry sessions and fashion shows.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we were just like in that part of your youth. Okay, because around 19 is when you start discovering yourself
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So you just free your hippies and it was an era where like men were safe, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
We had brothers at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you mean.
Gone are those days.
Gone are those days.
Yes, you can't even go on a date, babe.
Good.
You can't even go on a date.
I was just saying the other day to the fathers who were here, Boputi Stone and Max Papa, Uguti, as they are girl fathers, how do they now raise their children, or how do they teach them, Uguti? How do you navigate in this world? How do you maneuver as a girl in this world, as a woman in this world? Because, it's no longer that safe. Eh?
No,
it's no
it's
longer
not.
safe.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So we are lucky to come from an era when it was still a little bit safe for us.
Yeah.
So
Do you want to tell the story? As in Tabin, one time, one night.
Okay, tell us the story. Tell us the story. Yeah.
When we had to find ways of navigating the streets of Pimville and that Soweto kind of art scene.
Yeah.
And if somebody was homeless, somebody would open up their home. If I needed a place, if Ntsiki needed a place, she knew she could come to Kabelo.
Yeah.
And Kabelo would be able to provide a space.
Yes.
And the space was safe.
Yeah.
And hey, leave my sister alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think that was probably one of the ways that we forced a sort of a closeness.
Yeah, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And so far, the poems you've written, have you published them? Are they?
Oh, yeah. I've got a book titled, Hungry on Arrival. You haven't read that?
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Really?
Hungry
Oh,
on Arrival.
snap.
When
Did you
was
do
it
this after
out?
the Masters?
Yes. So,
In
in fact, the collection came out of the experience in the MA in Creative Writing at Crossroads.
Okay.
But I also sort of contributed other pieces that would have come from the period that we spent together, because I felt like that space was highly under-documented.
Yes, extremely.
Because, it wasn't like, my social media.
Oh,
where
yes.
We had Facebook and we had selfies and all of those
I
things.
know, yeah.
However, there could have been flyers. And I think the poetry itself would have served as a way to archive a space in time.
Right.
In the same way that you could find when you read like maybe poems from the 70s, they would capture a certain experience of abantu bethu, a daily kind of experience through poetry. You know? Yeah. So I think that's what I wanted to achieve in the book.
Yeah.
To kind of put in those pieces to kind of show. But I also come from a kind of a culture, a kind of a tradition.
Yeah.
And because these things, they keep evolving and changing over time. So I think that's why I wanted to contribute some of those pieces. Hungry on Arrival, check it out.
Sweet. I'll also check it out.
Yeah.
And Ntsiki, are you still writing? When last did you write a piece?
I've got an anthology of poetry called Wena that I took out in 2010.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, an autobiographical anthology.
Yeah.
But I am long overdue for
Another one.
Yeah.
2010, that's like decade and a half ago.
Yes. Yes. But I think also now I want to step more into the prose because there are stories that we need to unpack as abantu abamnyama, especially abantu abamnyama who went to izikolo zabelungu. So there's a lot of trauma that we don't talk about because you're so privileged, you're so blessed. Oh, my bourgeois, but then that time they don't know what to go through there.
Please
you know what I'm saying?
Don't even remind me.
One time. When there's our own languages at school, where we were actually fucking traumatized. Actually.
Yeah. And then you come back home and there's this confusion now.
Yeah.
Firstly, at school, but when the teacher is maybe reprimanding or scolding you at you, and then you're like looking at him or her, or no, you're not looking at it. Look at me, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And then you are talking.
Yes.
And then you go home.
Yes.
And then you
Exactly.
What am I supposed to do?
Yep.
There's a cultural clash. There's
Keep
a
his
cultural
hand
clash.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yep.
I remember with my, as you're taking me back, having to come across Dala, this friend of mine, Atim. Ugogo ngiyakhala and I wanted to kill myself. What awudliwa? What awudliwa? Uthi ngidepressed. Uthi nikhuluma isingisi too much. Nina uyadla uyasutha uyaqoka kodwa ufika la uzongitshela ukuthi ufuna ukuzibulala. But that cultural clash, that confusion. Okay, what do we do now?
Yep.
What are we doing committing suicide, guys? Even that thing.
Yep.
But uyasutha ufuna ukuzibulala abanye abantwana badli.
So we're confusing the blacks. You come back to the black community and you're something else. And then, just leave me alone, okay?
Leave me alone. I'm going to go to my bedroom.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Oh,
because,
you guys.
because even our parents, some of them, they didn't really speak like Isingesi
Yes.
in that manner that
Yes.
is appropriate.
Yes.
But there was this thing about like you are supposed to
Yes.
speak English every day.
Yes.
But it's babies on rotten English.
Yeah, rotten English.
You know, by a bimba, you know, Singesa was not like on point.
Yes.
But you're supposed to test Singesa with them all every time in the house.
And why should you?
Why should you? Really?
You know, why did we have to let go of ourselves so much? And
And then when you step
and
outside
then now you
into
can't
the
even speak
streets,
your own language.
Yeah.
That thing is very embarrassing when you're around black people.
Yep.
It is. It is.
It's actually very like.
So now-
Uzothola sowuthulile.
So
Ngathi
thulile.
so shy, ngathi introvert, kanti nix.
Kanti nix kuyafisa to
Yes.
be vocal kodwa manje you
Yes,
can't
you
because
can't. You don't have the vocabulary.
yeah. Okay. So now speaking of this industry where you're writing, how challenging is it, or is it a smooth sailing?
Horrible.
Why? But why?
People don't read
Let's
often.
talk. They don't read?
People don't read. I mean, especially like the people that we write for,
Yeah.
or the people that we write about.
Yeah.
I mean, like in my book, like for example, like Isbongo Sabafokeng. And for me, it was important to document that.
Yeah.
For those who come of age. But I don't see many showing interest. Maybe there'll be like a few Kabelos would come out of time.
Okay.
Who may be interested in the intellectual history of Bafokeng and maybe might want to be like, look, this is how it reads. Because the elders would normally sort of recite that from having learned from coming from that oral tradition.
Yeah.
You know,
Tell me, is it a hard copy?
it is a hard copy.
Have you considered maybe doing what do you call
Audio.
Audio.
No, like I mean, we do perform. In our performance, we come from the tradition of
Spoken word.
music and poetry.
Yeah.
You know, and using various elements, whether it could be also theater or our own stage performances.
Yeah.
You know, and I think either way, like documenting the poetry itself, it could be documented in various ways.
Yeah.
Which could be as well as a form of audio.
Yeah.
But the written word is so important because what you hear and what you read, so you could hear it and it could go past your head, over your head because you just heard it. But when it's written, then you can go back and digest it and look into, you know, how words are structured, the root of the word, and learn other aspects in terms of the intellectual history to Ezabantu.
Yeah.
How we speak, so it's very important.
We live in a 4IR world now,
Yeah,
period.
Yeah.
But what if you try something like, say, you're on TikTok, right? You're on Facebook, Instagram, and stuff. How about you do the TikTok trends and still, recite your poem? I know the platform is not for everybody, but hey, we want to reach everybody. You know?
TikTok poet.
Why not? Make it beautiful.
Badala, guys. Some of us were chasing 50 now. Twitter TikTok challenge, man.
No, but yours is unique. I mean, I'm a 70-year-old on TikTok. TikTok is for everybody.
Yeah.
But you put your poem there, you know, or whether you recite it, you don't have to be the one standing in front of the camera. Maybe you put a visual.
Is dying art? Is it a dying art, Gabs?
I wonder.
That's a very good question.
Is it dying? Is poetry dying in South Africa?
I think maybe not so much like the performance part of it. I think the performance culture is always there.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes maybe when we try to think about poetry, you know, it has to be like Shakespearean or within a certain slam. And then we are restricting it. And also maybe that exists exactly where you just said, like roads in these sort of institutions.
Because it's not the same as if you go like Wamsinga.
Yeah.
Poetry is different than poetry Roads.
Yeah.
How is it different? How does it differ?
Praise poetry even in the structure and the format, it's so different, you know? And Abelungu, they're very clinical and organized and structured. Whereas in African culture, it's more of a free spirit.
Yes. It's
You
a
know?
freestyle.
Yeah.
And it captures the
trust-
moment. It captures the moment
Yes.
with the intention to go beyond. So it doesn't restrict us to capturing a certain time in the past.
Oh, yes. Yeah. You don't just hoy in
Yeah, well.
to hope ukuthi to hit, you know, the spot somewhere.
Yeah,
With
evil.
It
white
hits
people.
the spot.
It does, ne?
The minute Sebuti, you know, the flags are like,
Yeah.
hey.
Ukuthi nazo-ke.
Yeah, we no longer ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and so it operates in the same way that music does.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
which is, you know, a way of speaking now with the intention to take people outside of their physical contraptions.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
but through words, though.
But through words, definitely.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
As I feel your presence now, strength and joy are found. As I feel your peace right now, this is how I know.
Yes.
And so far, has our government assisted much in terms of authors, you know, in South Africa, like Black authors, if they would want to say somebody's interested and Uti, I need funding, or is it easy to get such?
Being a writer in South Africa is quite it's a punishment that it's quite a punishment you can choose for yourself. Because, I mean, being in the arts is bad enough because there's no structure, there's no rules, there's no protection, there's no like watchdog for the artists, you know, to check that people are not cheating them, not exploiting them. So there are industries that are bigger, like music,
Acting.
you know, acting. But then once you get to poetry, which is more high-end, more intellectual, my God. So it's... So, uzopora abantu kahle kahle.
Yeah.
Uzopora poets, man.
The bottom line is that we're anti-intellectual.
Yeah.
Like, I think we are really quite an anti-intellectual society.
Yeah.
Especially amongst Abantu Bethu, you know. Yeah, so the minute you start speaking about something that is probably more political, people are like, you're deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, they love that word.
Yeah.
They just say, hey, deep. That's a moen.
You're being too deep, man.
Yeah, bo?
But Bona, it's not that deep, you know.
Yeah.
When I explain, but no, it's not that deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably like one of the first things, but those who then immerse themselves probably operate within certain spaces, like mostly scholarship, in the space of scholarship.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think in that regard, this is why perhaps people like myself, Ntsiki, would have then decided, well, you know what, we might mobilize poetry with a sense of the idea of we want to bring social transformation, but it wasn't enough just to do that. So it required that we form groups, you know, where we could have like literature circulating, and not just only literature circulating, but really kind of mobilize these things, like have discussions.
Yeah.
You know, so performance was just not enough. So we'd have discussions, we'd talk about things that affect us directly.
Yes.
And sort of common struggles.
Yeah.
And then later on we decided, well, you know, everything that we've developed in these cohorts that we formed, it's got intellectual value. And this is why spaces like our roads would accommodate that kind of sort of output that we're bringing to the space.
Yeah.
You know, and revere it and see it as an intellectual currency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very deep.
It is very deep. It is.
Very deep.
Poetry is fucking boring, man. Let's talk about my piano.
What is it about my piano?
I'm worried about your audience.
But
now
now-
you're just making them sit with poets.
No, my audience is good. My audience is okay. My audience is quite mature. They love it educational like that.
Okay,
You know?
lovely.
But now you can always infuse the poetry with the mapiano. Like you infused the poetry with
house music.
With house music, you know? So is it not possible to try something like that again?
Yo, guys, yes, sing na 45 from Fitz.
Angnandab.
And then I'm gonna be there now. Nabo, Amifaku, Nabo, by these young girls.
So
I don't see that. I'm just like, no, I'm an elder in the industry now.
Elder at 45. Come
yes,
on.
respect me. Respect me.
Pay the dues.
Suga is still a baby. I was with Mama Mandisa not so long ago, and she's 72, and she still sings. She likes her music. But you remember Miriam Makeba? She died on stage.
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
So you're never too old for this.
It's true. I think I've just gotten disillusioned, and I'm so over the arts. I'm so over it because I structure man and asnamad. And that is the one big thing about the arts in South Africa, is that we don't have money. Actually, we're broke. And then everybody
really
thinks
not have it?
That's the thing.
we really don't have it. Other people have our money. Other people get paid off our money. The executives, the producers are the ones that have got our money that they don't distribute. So I'm so over that. I wish being corporate my lawyers or what, just to get out of this mess.
But you can still go corporate. You've got a diploma in marketing, right?
I do. And then my master's from Rhodes.
Yeah, and entrepreneurship.
Yes, I did entrepreneurship at Wits. Yes. I've done a lot. I've been putting it in. Perhaps that's what I'm going to do next, because I really
can go to advertising.
It doesn't make sense.
I can. They need creative minds to go advertising. You should try it.
Yes.
You know?
But I mean, isn't marketing mostly existing on how many followers you have on TikTok?
Don't.
Yabo.
Don't remind me.
And for some of us who are a little bit
introverted, right? It's not fair.
You know, so
talent is according to who's the extrovert. The loudest cans are getting the kicks.
Yeah.
And those are the empty vessels.
The empty vessels, exactly. They make so much noise.
Exactly.
Exactly. No, but I get what you mean, because one can be you can be an actor. And you feel safer, you enjoy your space in front of the camera at work.
Yeah.
But at home, you don't want to be about me, and here's the camera. You get what I'm saying? Same with marketing. You're probably good in marketing for firms there or companies out there, but not yourself. So when you're an introvert or even an ambivert in this matter, then usenjeni, usenkingeni.
Yeah,
so
I don't know where the world is going now.
What would be the solution to this though? Because I mean, advertisers.
I've no choice, because we're living in the information age, and we're just gonna keep going further and further into this information age. Right. So it's literally, people are gonna have to adapt their personalities according to social media. Imagine that.
Yeah, that is so
That's sad.
But I see you are very much concentrating on your painting. I like that. Are you enjoying it? You enjoy it?
I must come and paint. Who's talking?
And sip while
Have you done it before? Have you painted before?
Not well. I've gone to a sip and paint.
Okay.
I went to one. That's my last art masterpiece.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is going to be my second masterpiece.
Sweet. I hope you're going to join us on our sip and paint on the 9th of August then.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
We talk more about,
women issues.
Things.
Yes.
Issues.
Yes. The power of being a woman.
We sip, we paint, we talk about women issues.
Fuck,
You know,
we need to talk
what's-
about perimenopause. That's what we need to talk about at the moment because the fuck's going on with my vagina?
Are you are you there already? Are we? Really?
You didn't tell me it's gonna go down like this. So yes, 9th August. Yes, alapho.
Yeah. Sizokhuluma ezabafazi.
Yeah, please
Ezidip.
explainela.
Bengekho
Amadoda-
Kabelo.
amadoda,
Okay, you're welcome, Kabelo. You can
behind
do it.
every strong,
Yeah.
there's another.
You know, you're welcome. You can come.
Okay.
But you'll just have to listen
Yeah, no, so
while we
that-
talk,
that's
while we vent.
Gabs as a man who can be with women.
Exactly.
There are men who can be
And
with
we want
women.
more of Kabzas out there, man. Ne?
I was raised by a beautiful woman. Makabela, that's a maiden name.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always had matriarchs. My grandmother in Pondo,
Oh, Yani.
That's
That's why I don't stress you then also. Because that's fire, Xhosa energy. You're used to it. Exactly. Exactly.
Very.
And then Mofokeng.
So Mofokeng would be it's my clan name. My father. I was raised by both my mother and my father.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so Tata, the late is Mofokeng. And I come from that line of people, Mofokeng, who settled. You can check the history all the way from the north.
Have you written it down?
That's what I'm saying. But Ibongo or Isitugu,
Yeah.
Setu, it's captured in my book.
Yeah.
And that's very important for me.
Yeah.
And it's a history that is it's because it's always like an oral history ongoing, right? So one is often sort of speaking to elders, especially elderly women. The elderly women are very, very like my aunt. We just sent off my aunt about a month ago.
Okay.
For me, she's the greatest poet in the family because every time everybody starts to udulate. That doesn't happen when I do my poetry.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen because So the greatest poet in my family was always my aunt, and she was also not just a great poet. Through her poetry, she kept the memory of and the legacy of those even before her time.
Yeah.
So
but what if now you? She's late now.
yeah, she's late now.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But you can always just write down lezo ziduko uzifaka kwi-internet. When we Google, mhlawumbe umuntu ahlangane nowakamfukeng nje, aforge few lines nyana,
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, but they're not static. Aziko static. It's almost like an address.
Wow.
Yes, definitely.
So that may also infuse a little bit of myself into.
Yes, definitely.
That's very important.
I think ibongo zethu sonke zikanjalo. They differ here and there.
Absolutely.
The moment ungaba umngoma ezulu, abanye kukho abobomfiso.
Yes.
Thina bodlakadlaka libelo, and then they differ here and there. But I get what you're saying.
So wazokubuza kuba like when I'm Mofokeng wama, because there's different types of Mofokeng. Unalibo monyokolo, unalibo Mofokeng badijana.
Yeah.
So you it's firstly like different wives with different children, but when we do sort of converge, we just make one beautiful union.
Yeah. Oh, that is so beautiful.
So for me, that is the significance in terms of how poetry functions, not only as an oral tradition, but how we have also used tools like going to schools, taking those tools that we sort of are able to benefit from, like in terms of research skills, to bring back and pour back into our own culture. Yeah.
Okay.
So going to these white schools was not a waste.
It was not a waste. It was not too shabby.
You want your white friends.
Not a waste.
How about you, Mami? How about you? Do you intend to do something for your clan as well? You're a writer. come on now. They need to benefit, from your skill.
I agree with you that the importance of a writer is to document, the times of now. But what I think is important from what we're talking about here is identity. Because that's what Isithakazelo is about, What Isithakazelo does for you is that it'll put you in time and space.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you what kind of a people you came from. Because I need to genetically, I'm the same gene that was so many generations ago. It's still the same gene.
Yes.
So, which means that there are strengths that this gene carries. So if I don't know myself and my own strengths, I might waste time.
Yeah.
So
I get you.
I think the point I'm making is that people should know Isithakazelo Zabo.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah.
It is important.
It's important. It's
Especially now, Tina, with our children.
I was about to say,
Guys, uthi uyamthakazelela umntwana uthi
what is that?
Yes. And just to share a little, I tell it again for my son. Bamthakazelela ke, but how mangete? What I'm not magate.
Yabo? Yabo?
What you wayifundisa umntana ithakazela? He was so confused, and it took my dad, my father, his mom's father, ukuthi amfundise ithakazelo zakubo, ukuthi wena unguntshosho umangethe, umntana ube confused. I'm not why are you calling me that? I'm not magate. I'm not magate.
What is this black thing?
But we've got so much work to do, guys. We cannot just conform and allow ukuthi now because sekukhuluma isingisi. We're gonna let go nje. Kanjalo ithakazelo
sayisikhosha. The thing is, Zoe, also these kinds of conversations are very important, and we almost have them and also very messy.
In passing.
Passing, and this is why I think Ntsiki, I would say and let's do this thing together, because we've had these conversations that only me and her can really sort of verify or reflect on, and they have held so much weight just amongst ourselves.
Right.
And obviously life happens. She's got to do her thing, I've got to do my thing. She's got family, I've got family.
Yes.
We all have our lives work, and we're not necessarily able to sort of interrogate these conversations more meaningfully. Even if we go to these other institutions, they don't necessarily provide the space for us to sort of interrogate or even engage more meaningfully.
Yeah.
And that's why the cohorts that we have developed, having our Tinyeleti, having our Black Sunday, having our Perm, all of those spaces were almost like informal spaces where we could engage meaningfully.
Yeah.
So in another way to say it is thank you for having us here, so we can also kind of reflect on that. On these,
okay.
As I feel your presence now, strength and joy are found. As I feel your peace right now, this is how I know.
Silapho nje. There's somebody out there, a young Kabelo, a young Ntsiki out there who's thinking, I want to be a writer.
Don't.
I know. Why not, guys? I know there's challenges, but they passionately want to be.
I just want to tell everyone to just go to school and go to corporate. That's what I want to tell people.
Aholo.
Swada.
Alindide 21, 25.
Uzawuhlupeka sithandwa sami.
Yeah.
Uzawuhlupeka. And I wish I'd listened to my dad, yes.
Sure. And you could have followed his footsteps and be a journalist then. Why not? You could have been a journalist.
I'm kind of doing that now.
Oh, okay.
Now I've started, because Umoya, my podcast, puts me in a position where I'm now starting to archive Black stories and Black spirituality and Black politics.
Uh-huh.
So now I need to, the role of a journalist is to disseminate information and teach people.
Yes.
So that's the seat I'm in right now. I've become my parents, but I'm just like, why did you let me do that?
Lalela.
Why did I overpower you? Why did you let me overpower you?
Yeah.
Why did you listen to me?
Yeah.
And I think Ntsiki, for me, it's because to be a poet is not so much a practice more than it is a calling. It becomes a practice.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
You know, so to say, but you must follow somebody.
Yeah.
It's not probably like into that needs to happen. The person, because we almost found ourselves.
Yeah. Poetry is a calling.
We found ourselves. Like for poetry found me. I was like, I mean, I'm funny, you're Diski with the guys.
Yeah.
But Diski was not enough because this thing here was so hot.
Yeah, bo.
Saying, but hey, you know, and then I'm sitting in my room and I'm reading. Then I walk outside, I find my friends are arrested for something. I'm like, where was I?
Sure.
I was busy reading.
Yeah, bo. Exactly. It saves you from a lot. Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
that's what's nice about it.
you know, so I'd read.
Yeah.
Because I would be
Too much.
reading in the
Trouble.
shadows. Like she
Yeah.
reading, you know, and then reading I won't see like then I wanted my dreadlocks keeper. You know? And you know, you used to be so handsome. Ashai cut pega manje.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know, so it's more. I think it's more of a calling than it is
A choice.
And you do choose it eventually.
Yeah,
You know, and that's that's what I think determines a more casual poet than the one who becomes more sort of who contributes more meaningfully.
Sweet.
When you realize bongo bani, and it's almost like also like the groups that we had were also like a space where of initiation.
Yes.
You know. Twasa. You know, so yeah, it's so it also means that I can write in various forms. So journalism, I do write using journalistic kind of repertoire.
Yeah.
I do also have other ways of using my writings in terms of copywriting, advertising.
Oh, okay.
So there are various forms that are available to me as a writer.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But also, I think poetry would have then opened those doors, unlocked those doors for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Being a versatile writer.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. I think, isikhathi sesidliwe yinja basenjalo ngesizulu.
Ngempela.
Sikhulumile sesidliwe yinja isidlile sihlafunile komele ngisheshe ngexoshe unfortunately but this was beautiful. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Did you enjoy? Did you want to say more? Do you want to talk some more?
Sasicabanga man, yazi besisenjoy attention for a while. Yazi uyawazi ama-artist kanjani.
Yeah. I know, right? I know. No, but then
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, Ahmed, thank you for coming. I'm so honored. Tell me, okay, actually before I wrap up, I'm curious ukuthi ningichazele ukuthi your paintings, what they're about. Why did you choose to do that? What is it about? And no, ungamnikezi Ntsiki i-painting yakho.
No, don't be like that, girl.
Ungamniki.
Don't be like that, girl. Don't be like that,
This is
girl.
your souvenir, please.
Maybe if we swap, because I really like what she has done.
Okay, then you talk. Then it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my piece is really
Cela ubonisa ababukeli bethu, please. Yes. Tell us about it.
It's about colors.
Okay.
And a few lines. So the colors would be more like waking up in the dark, because there was load shedding.
Oh, okay.
But also there's a bit of light there.
All
And there's circles here. Circles here. And that means life.
Okay.
If you check nicely, there's Mofokeng and then there's Motupa. Motupa is a new family that I'm trying to form. that I'm on my way in forming. So bringing those together is the center.
Okay, now I'm interested. What do you mean Mutupa is the new family?
Mutupa is my partner.
Oh,
Ooh, that's so sweet. Oh my God. Gucci, Gucci now.
Always hello,
Gucci.
Yeah. and
that's so
I'm
sweet.
happy about that. Yeah. Very
Oh,
happy about
congratulations.
that.
Mami, how got Qibi?
Yes, babes. Kaloku dipis ngale masterpiece, man. Yes.
What you so
Hey,
very
my
pretty.
days.
I barely masterpiece.
So what
I
happened here? I'm a
That.
crush.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
No, are you serious?
Hi, boy. This is lovely.
Really? So okay,
Yeah.
maybe
Uh-huh.
this is a visualization of the winds of change.
Okay.
Ne?
Yeah.
And I put the sun there because it's all natural,
Yeah.
right? Because I think what I'm trying to communicate is that even though, I mean, life just keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah.
You know, the sun comes out, nature's there, whatever, there's trees. Don't know if you can see, that's my tree. That's my tree.
It's okay.
And
It's
yeah, yes,
expressionism.
as long as
So-
I understand it.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
you know. And I just think this, what I was doing here is like rubbing out the old.
Aw.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why it's all going like this.
I see. I love the
Yeah.
brush strokes.
The brushstrokes are beautiful.
Wow.
Sure.
I just discovered that now. Thank
You must be a
Joey.
patient person, eh?
She is.
Are you
Really?
patient? Are you?
She is.
She is.
She is.
I see. With your brush strokes. Only a patient person can do that.
Oh, really?
I'm very impatient.
Oh, it's interesting how you can tell something from someone's
I think
work.
she pays
ne?
attention to detail.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh la la, Jamaica.
That's Jamaica.
Those are Jamaican colors.
So what do you think it's a Jamaican flag?
Aziz
What do you
Shemdoro.
think it is? What do you tell me? You mommy. You mommy.
Okay, I'll tell you what I think it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think that is you lying at the beach, and that's your bum. And then,
Oh wow.
yeah,
Mazwai.
Oh my
I know. I know you guys
Okay.
drink. I'll get drunk for you if you don't mind.
Okay.
And the sky is green because of abundance. So you're lying at the beach, and the sky is
Okay.
green because of abundance.
Okay. Gabs, what do you think this is?
Wow. I'm interested in what the colors represent.
Okay.
You know, obviously green for me is life.
Uh-huh.
And the and that yellow gold it's obviously speaks to the idea of wealth. I see that black identity. But that brown thing for me it's like a journey to discovery. So you're still discovering your voice.
It's
somewhere.
a bum. I told you guys.
I'll give you 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10.
Yeah. I for Ntsiki ke yena for Ntsiki agege. The bum Ntsiki. Athi it's your bum. Agege. Okay guys, you know when you're going to find out on our very last episode of Sip Paint and Vent, the 12th episode of Sip Paint and Vent,
Okay.
you will find out what this is because this is like a piece of a puzzle,
Okay,
right?
wow.
Each episode, there's a piece.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And then combined together, it's a huge painting.
Oh wow.
Huge 12-piece painting.
Wow.
So then you'll have to keep on watching. Don't miss
Ow,
Sip
so-
Paint and Vent.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. That's beautiful.
Thank you so much, guys.
beautiful.
And thank you, viewers at home.
Thank you for having
Remember
us.
to subscribe to Sip Paint and Vent and to Ntsiki's
Moya.
Moya.
Yeah.
When you subscribe on Sip Paint and Vent with Zoe, you stand a chance to win your very own Sip Paint and Vent hamper that consists of the canvas, namakwa, the paints, I almost said easel. Oh yeah, the easel goes with the canvas, the brushes, the palette.
Girl.
Look.
Easels.
There's easel.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So please, yenza njalo, subscribe. And remember, you are loved.
Mwah.
Cheers. Chomi, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Sip, Paint and Vent on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok for all the latest updates and snippets. Also catch their full episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. By engaging with us, you stand a chance to win a Sip and Paint hamper sponsored by Namakwa at the value of 350 rands. Just a heads up, terms and conditions do apply. Oh, by the way, here's a sneak peek of what I painted on today's episode. Can you guess what the full piece will look like out of the 12 part?